Melanie, my dear. Finally home, eh? There's something we need to take care of right now.
Huh?
Please, right this way. We've come to take custody of the furniture, among other things in this house, ma'am.
What? No, just wait a minute.
Trouble busters!
Hey, Dad, I'm home. Oh, darling sister, welcome home. Melanie. Ever dull, ever boring, ever unchanging Melanie. Huh? Living at home without getting married at the age of 30? Man, you really do have life frickin' easy. It's not that I like being single, nor do I want to be. I guess that's true. I should have known there would be no man in this world who would willingly marry you. How dare you? There's a line in this house, sis. I'm just speaking the truth. That's not true. Hey, Mark, let me ask you this. From your perspective, what kind of woman does Melanie seem to you?
Hard pass. Huge hard pass.
What the? You have no right to tell me such hurtful things, Mr. Mark. But you ought to hear the opinion of others, right? Well, maybe it's too late for that. My name is Melanie, and I'm 30 years old and also single. I currently live with my father, Malcolm, who is 63 years old. Father manages an apartment building, and we live in one of the rooms that he manages. And I have an older sister, Sarah, and her husband, Mark, who live nearby, but as you've seen, they're unfortunately quite a toxic couple of bastards. By the way, where's Dad?
My daughter and her husband visit me together.
Dad, my darling, I stopped by today to ask you for a favor.
Oh, shoot.
We're thinking of sending our daughter to a famous private kindergarten. I'm sure she'll get in, since she's got her cram school seal of approval.
I see. Then it's all right.
You'd think so, huh, Daddy? But it isn't.
Huh? I will help you as much as I can, but there is a limit, you know.
I know that, Dad, so I talked it over with Mark here, and we came to a fairly reasonable decision.
And what is that?
We're going to start living together with you.
Huh?
What? We can save on utilities and that kind of thing if we move in with you, can't we? That's why we think you ought to leave the nest, Melanie. What the? And just how long do you think you're going to sponge off poor Dad, eh? The underlying reason why you can't even get married is because you're staying with your parents. I think this turn of events would also be good, Melanie, and her current, predicaments.
Well, if that's what Melanie wants, I understand, but... Excuse me, Mr. Allison. I brought a box of beers. Could you maybe help me carry it inside the house? Yeah, sure, my boy.
So that's that. You should pack up whatever bullshit you have and leave. As much as I would like to help out, I simply can't, you see? It's bothering me too, you know. What? How long are you expecting to siphon Dad's money and spend on your own life, eh? I want to benefit from it too, anyhow. I can't. Anyone who's a frickin' parasite to my darling father can get the frick out. I'll take the rental income. Oh no. As a matter of fact, Dad's been telling me you've been annoying him. To be brutally honest here, he never dared say it to your face, but Dad would say such a terrible thing? So get the hell out of my house.
Sorry for leaving in the middle of something important.
Melanie seems to be planning to leave, Dad.
What? Really?
Indeed. I'm sorry for everything, Father.
Oh, my dear.
And just like that, it's decided. This is so great.
Mr. Allison, why don't we all head out to eat now? Well...
I won't be joining you, Father. Please go and have your fun. I've been enough of a burden to you.
Honey, no.
I was so mad at Sarah for calling me a parasite to the father I care for so deeply. And the fact that she knew absolutely nothing about how I was of help to him. But I had no idea that Dad actually thought of me in the way she told me. I tried my best to manage the apartments, and yet, I can't do it anymore. I was so shocked, and I left home that day to stay at a hotel in the center of the city. That night, I received a phone call from Father.
Melanie, darling, where are you right now?
Father, I've got to run an important errand, and I won't be back tonight. Just make sure you lock up the house before going to bed, okay?
My dear girl, did something happen to you?
No, nothing. Nothing at all, sir.
Then why did you say you were leaving?
That's just because... It's only because I started thinking that maybe I was getting to a good age where I finally ought to leave the nest.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Therefore, as of tomorrow, I will not be returning home. Until I find a new apartment, I'll stay at friends' places or hotels, so you don't need to worry about me and how I'm faring.
What?
That way Sarah and her family will be able to live in that apartment right away.
I see. Yes, I think I understand. Sarah and her excuse of a husband must have said something to you, eh?
No, not really.
Then I understand completely now. Your father will do as he wants to.
What?
I think it'll be for your sake, my child. Everything is going to be all right.
For my sake, what do you mean?
Promise me this. Show up at my apartment one more time in exactly a month's time.
In a month's time, what are you going to do?
You'll know then, but all I can tell you right now is...
Yes?
I have a secret plan in mind, so you don't have to worry about anything.
What? Oh, of course, sir. And with that, Father hung up. What did he mean by secret plan? What was he plotting? I lived for a month with all kinds of thoughts crossing my mind this way and that. On the appointed day, I went back to the apartment. What the? Melanie, what are you doing here? Father told me to come to the apartment today, and so here I am. Huh? No one told me anything about that, and more importantly, I haven't seen Dad at all since yesterday. Huh? Well, in any case, I am so glad you left, Melanie. Because he was annoyed with me, right? I had to leave for his sake. Annoyed? About what? About, well, me. Didn't you tell me a month ago that he was annoyed with me? Huh? Oh, you believed all that bullshit? Huh? Of course that was a lie, bitch. I only told you that because I just wanted to get rid of you. No way. Why in the world would you do that to get rid of me? That's a secret. Why did you do such a terrible thing? Wait, no, shoot. You said something about taking the rental income in your throwaway appeal. You didn't do it for that, did you? I told you it's a secret. If it's true, then Dad would...
Melanie, my dear. Finally home, eh?
Father?
This calls for a celebration, considering how long it's been since you were home. But I'm afraid that'll have to wait. There's something we need to take care of right now.
Huh?
Please, right this way. May we begin, sir? Yes, it can't be helped, gentlemen. Well then, if you insist, sir.
Excuse me? Who the hell are you people?
My name is Sando, and I am a lawyer.
A lawyer? What's a lawyer doing here?
We've come to take custody of the furniture, among other items in this house, ma'am.
What? Now wait just a minute. Dad? What the hell is going on here?
What do you mean, Sarah? It should be natural that people who can't pay the rent money will only have their worthy belongings repossessed by a third party, shouldn't it?
Wait a minute. The money is supposed to be deducted from a bank account.
And from which account, may I ask?
That's...
This account, isn't it?
Ah, that's right, Dad. It's fine if it's just a little bit. Even Melanie was making a good living on her rental income for a little while, right?
Well, her income came from rent, to be sure, and to be frank, it was a lot of it.
Then it's okay for us to benefit a little too, so pay us, please.
But I don't have that kind of money.
Don't you lie to me, Dad. What? What's the meaning of this? Your balance is almost nothing. Where did you put the money?
No, it was this mediocre to begin with, Sarah.
That's not possible. You had a lot of rental income. Sarah, you shut the frick up. The truth is, Dad is...
It's fine, Melanie. Really, it is. I know everything.
What?
Why exactly did Sarah and her family kick Melanie out?
I thought I told you already. It's so that it would be easier to make ends meet if we lived together. What with the deduction in living costs and stuff.
Take a look at this, Sarah.
Huh? Oh, wait, what? Why do you have...
When you guys came to visit our house a month ago, this piece of paper fell out of your handbag, Sarah.
No way. What is that?
Have a look, Melanie.
The rent from 15 families amounts to $9,800. $9,800 divided kindergarten... A handbag? This
This piece of paper contains all that Sarah and Mark had calculated how they were going to spend the rental income themselves.
So it turns out I was right after all. Why, that my sister kicked me out because she was targeting the rental income, of course. And when I looked at the paper more thoroughly, I found an even more shocking fact. I knew it. You had told me to send you my rental income as well, right?
And as a matter of fact, why don't you have a look at the distribution of rental income? Everything is allocated in their damn favor.
Damn, you are absolutely right. And moreover, Father's living expenses of $100? There's no way such a thing can be done.
Looking at the paper right there, I realized that Sarah and Mark wanted to keep the rental income for themselves and eventually abandoned me as another person living with them.
How could that be? Daddy, there's no way I would do such a thing.
Then what does what is written on the paper mean,
It's just a joke, of course. For a harmless joke, you sure were spot on about the amount of rental income. You looked it up, didn't you? But that is... The last thing I expected from these traitors was that they were going to keep the rental income for themselves and then abandon Father after things got steady. It went beyond what I thought was enough in terms of cruelty. So I was indeed extremely heated thereafter.
However, you guys made a very critical mistake.
What?
Your mistake was that you kicked Melanie out.
But it's so obvious that we would. Huh? You're still single after 30, and you monopolized Dad's money regardless. And I didn't do any of that. I don't want to hear any of your stupid damn lies. As a matter of fact, you freaking overspent the money you made, and that's why these freaking lawyers had to foreclose on you. So it's only freaking fair that you pay back all the debt. But listen, as I have already told you, I never used Father's money. Frickin' bullshit! You were always so fond of Melanie in that way.
That's not true, Sarah. I believe I've been taking care of both Melanie and you equally.
Lies! Well then answer me this. Why don't you ever support us?
I have been helping you.
It's not been enough at all, and I want to be just like Melanie.
Just like Melanie,
That's right, we're sisters after all.
Alright, I understand.
Thank you for understanding, Dad. Then could you stop this stupid foreclosure right away? They're really here to take all of our stuff, aren't they?
I can't do that.
What the? So you were freaking lying.
I'm not lying. I just have no money.
Then where did the rental income go? You better not keep on lying to me.
I believe Melanie has the rental income money.
Just as I freaking thought. You're giving it all to Melanie, aren't you?
Well, that's how it is, I suppose.
Don't play freaking dumb with me. Melanie, give me that money. And why should I do that? It's Dad's freaking money, so I have a right to have a fair share of it too, don't I?
Sarah, listen carefully. The rental income money is not mine.
That's what I've been saying. Half of the rental income money should... Wait, what?
All of that rental income money goes to Melanie, and that's precisely why it's deposited into her account, you see.
What in the frickin' Minecraft enchantment table bullshit are you talking about?
Where does the rental money income go, I ask? Why, to the owner, of course.
That's what I'm saying. It should be going to you, Dad. Why is it going to Melanie instead?
Why do you think the money ought to be coming into my account?
Because that apartment is yours.
No. That apartment is owned by Melanie, my dear.
What?
That apartment is owned by Melanie. That's why all the rent money is transferred to Melanie's bank account.
Enough lying, Dad, please. You bought that apartment yourself, didn't you?
It's true, I built that apartment, but we couldn't keep up with all the money required for repairs and such. It got so bad that I almost couldn't pay back what I owed to some people.
Huh?
And that's when I asked you and Mark if they could help me out. Remember that?
What? Did you really?
It happened, 3 years ago now? You don't remember anything inconvenient, do you? That's when Melanie offered me a loan from her savings at just the right moment.
No way. Yes, it's true. I'm certain Father told Sarah his predicament and apologetically asked to help him. I remember her listening to everything half-heartedly at that time, as though her head were floating amongst the clouds made of $100 bills.
And she made the monthly repayment from the salary she made by working very hard. And now, 3 years later, it is all paid off.
Ah.
And it was at that time that we made various arrangements between ourselves, and that's how this building now belongs to Melanie.
That can't be true.
Would you believe me if you saw this then?
It is indeed in Melanie's name.
And now you understand why the rent money belongs to Melanie. As a matter of fact, what I paid for this time, I got back from Melanie and spent it on what you thought was important.
What?
And now you also understand why I have no money.
Wait a minute. I can't wrap my head around this, but what happens now?
If we had just lived a normal life together, nothing would happen from now onward. But because you were so conveniently convinced I had money, you took the liberty of registering your name on my bank account?
No.
Still though, I left it on the table because I trusted you. But I never thought you would actually register yourself into it.
You set me up?
Set you up, my damn bowl full of jelly! Normally, it should be scandalous to go and register yourself into another person's account without permission.
But...
So this foreclosure is final. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, gentlemen. Please, right this way.
Right as father said that, Santo, the lawyer in charge for today, and the people who came with him started to seize the property steadily. Inside the house, marking the household goods with an official seal. My sister and her husband were so immensely upset when they saw what was going on that they just stood motionless for a while. Then Sarah pathetically cried and asked for me to help. Please stop! It was all my fault, and I'm so sorry. Please stop!
Then why did you buy it all even if you don't have the money, As far as things go, it's not what you initially said, is it? It's all like brand name bags and high-end suits and shit like that.
It's just that we wanted to benefit a little from what we thought you had too, Daddy. We don't do anything like that anymore, promise.
It's not a question whether you can do it anymore. It's that I don't have the financial resources to buy you everything, Sarah.
Well then, Melanie, my darling, help your sister, please. Huh? I was wrong. I was so wrong about how I thought you were eating up Dad's money. Uh-huh. But I'm so proud of you for working so hard to pay off Dad's debts, Melanie. That was so selfless of you. I stand corrected about you, for sure. But getting my sister to stand corrected is, Since you are that kind of person, Melanie, you would help me too, won't you, your poor darling older sister? That is something that will not happen in a million years. Well, why not? Because you're happier than me, aren't you? That's not true, honey. We're struggling with money. But weren't you, my own older sister, saying something like, "Oh, I feel so sorry for Melanie because she doesn't have a man"? But that's... Oh, I'll have you know that left a deep wound in me. And on the other hand, you, Sarah, have a loving husband. There is no way I could possibly help such a happy person. There was no meaning in those words, honey. As a matter of fact, marriage will not do a woman any good. Just look at me. Just having that slime bag as a husband is enough to annoy me. Damn, what you say about marriage certainly has changed a lot, I see. I'm telling you, that was... So wasn't that just a pleasant flip over the leaf after she had made so much fun of me? But I couldn't forgive her one bit, so I decided to confront her with more information that would finally be the last straw in this nightmare. By the way, why exactly do you want me to help you? I've been telling Dad the same thing, but... If this is about fancy handbags or expensive household appliances or anything like that, that was something I just got carried away with and bought, but I will not do that kind of thing anymore, I promise. Then let me ask you this. The only money that is genuinely missing is for the private kindergarten, isn't it? Yes, it is. The cost of allowing her to go to this private kindergarten that may indeed be necessary. Well then, assuming she goes there at all, that is. I'm telling you, I'm going to send her to the best school around here. But she won't be able to. What a thing to say. The results haven't come in yet, but... Hannah, right? Huh? The kindergarten is called Buster Trouble Private School. What the... That's the... Indeed, the kindergarten that Hannah has applied for. Why? Why do you know so much? You wrote my name in the box of the application form that says to write down the information of a relative, didn't you? I did. That's why they knew right away that my niece, not my daughter, was taking the test. And soon thereafter, they called me to apologize. Apologize? Why? They said that if they had asked me in advance, I would have advised her on how to do the interview and so on and so forth. What's with that way for words? It's as if the interview was a disaster. Yes, it was. Oh, but not for Hannah. She was brilliant. Huh? It's just that you two completely flunked your interview. What? It seems that you two, as Hannah's parents, had a very bad interview attitude. And that's one of the assessment points, of course. That can't mean... no way. Hannah was rejected? Yes, it seems so. There's no way. So you don't need my help anymore, eh? Wait a minute. We are in a lot of trouble, and not just about Hannah's kindergarten. You said earlier that you only needed the costs of her kindergarten. Sarah was so upset that she was starting to mess up and contradict what she had said prior. There was no more of that once arrogant older sister of mine lying her tiny ass off to get her way in life. Everything just seems so simple and so stupid right now. It's your fault that Hannah was tragically rejected in her kindergarten application. It's also your fault that you put yourself in foreclosure because of unnecessary purchases. Why should I help stupid people like that? That would be... Find a reason, please. Do you remember what you said when you kicked me out of Father's house? No, I don't remember. You said that I was a parasite to Father. That was just a figure of speech. When you said that to me, I thought I shan't bother my dear father anymore, and so I decided to leave home. Naturally, one would think so, right? But that's... Isn't what you're doing exactly what you claimed I was doing, mooching off of Dad's money and essentially being a parasite? But I haven't benefited from even a single penny yet. Me neither, sister. In fact, I'm paying for him, so I'm actually in the negative here. Oh, that aside, I think you ought to stop being a parasite, eh? But then that would mean, what the hell am I going to do with all that was foreclosed? It's your own fault for making a mistake, and I think you have to take care of it all yourself. Please, Melanie, please help! You shut your codfish mouth up now. If you're going to get involved with Father and I any longer, I have some ideas over here. Are you sure you want me to take action? What? Please, no! After saying that, perhaps my excuse of a sister and her own excuse of a husband gave up and left. As for the repossessed property, I paid for it all and brought it back home. I thought that if I didn't, Father would be in trouble again with those bastards. And so that brings us to a few years later, when I am very happily married to a nice man named Alan, who moved in soon after the incident blew over. We now have 3 children, and my husband is very fond of Father. And as of now, we are living very happily together, the 6 of us. Trouble Busters!